All right. So this week we're going to be talking attribution models, and there's several of them out there that you should be aware of. There's also two different types of attribution models. First off, there's single touch attribution models, and then there's multi touch attribution models. Single touch attribution models are things like first touch, lead source, last touch, things like that. Most folks and organizations are already doing some semblance of those. We're going to be focusing mostly on the multi-touch attribution models that usually come with your attribution platforms. So in order to talk about these, I'm going to draw a little bit on the screen here. So hopefully you can see what's on the screen. Um, there's several different attribution models that most marketing attribution platforms come with. And they come out of the box, and then they also give you the ability to do like a custom model. So one of the most common attribution models that comes with attribution platforms is the U-shaped model. We've all heard of the U-shaped model. Now, the U-shaped model can be different. It can have a different definition based on the marketing attribution platform that you're using. So one definition of a U-shaped model looks like this. It is first touch and lead creation. And everything that happens between first touch and lead creation is factored into the U-shaped model. And the opportunity is shared across all of the engagement records that take place between first touch and lead creation. Now, there's another type of U-shaped model that is also commonly used, which is where it goes from first touch up to opportunity creation instead of lead creation. So there's two different types of U-shape. And with this one here, it factors in everything in between first touch and opportunity creation as well. It's not just first touch and just opportunity creation. It's everything that happens in the journey between those 2 points. So you need to know which version of the U-shaped model your attribution platform is using to make sure that you fully understand, how to use the attribution model and when to use the attribution model. Now, I'm going to erase the U-shaped model here, and we're going to talk about the W-shaped model. Now, the W-shaped model, you've probably heard of that one as well, and the W-shaped model is very similar. Here's your primary kind of positions that an engagement record can occupy, and here's your W-shaped model. And the W-shaped model, again, this is for most attribution platforms, but the W-shaped model will apply 30% of the opportunity value to the first touch, to the engagement record that happens it's the very first touch. The lead creation moment will get 30%. The last touch that happens prior to the creation of the opportunity would get 30%. And then everything else that happens in between divvies up the remaining 10%. That's your W-shaped model. That's a very typical out-of-the-box W-shaped model. Now, let's clear that out. And I'm going to show you some other models as well that are very common with attribution platforms and attribution methodologies. So you're also going to have where you come across what's known as what happened to my pen? Okay. What's known as a linear model. A linear model basically goes all the way from the very, very first interaction all the way through the closure of the opportunity. And then what it does is every single interaction across that journey is factored in, and every single interaction evenly splits the share of the opportunity. So in this case, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I should have done 10 for easy math, but we have 11 different engagements that happened through this journey. So if I had, for example, a $10,000 opportunity, and I'm getting an ad over here. If I have a $10,000 opportunity each one of these engagements is going to get an equal share of that $10,000. So $10,000 divided by 11, I'm not entirely sure what that is, but it's probably somewhere, I think it's like $9,100 or something like that, or not 9,100, but it'd be like $910 or something like that. But each one of these gets an equal share of the pie. That's called a linear model. The linear model is very easy to use because it's just everything's shared equally and evenly. Now, there's another model that shows the entire journey that is very typical in attribution platforms. And that's what's usually referred to as like a full path or full journey model. And what that does is that gives, it's kind of similar to the W-shaped model, except it doesn't have a fancy W there. And nobody's going to call it a double W. That would just be weird. So what you have is you have, again, your primary kind of places that an engagement record can occupy in the journey. And a very typical distribution would be 22.5, come on, pen, 22.5% for each of these kind of like milestones up here where certain milestone points in the journey are happening. And then at the bottom, you have like everything else that would happen in between these. And these would all split up the remaining 10%. So like, for example, MQL would be somewhere like right in here, but MQL is not a primary kind of point in the journey. So MQL would fall down here and get split the remaining 10%. So this is kind of how the attribution models work. Now, one of the big questions or concerns that comes up oftentimes is, well, which model do we use? Which model do we use? Which model does our company use? And you don't pick a model. Like you don't say, well, our company uses the W-shaped model or our company uses the U-shaped model. What you do is you use the models as tools in your toolkit that you use for different purposes based on the needs of the report that you're creating. So, for example, if I'm creating a report where I'm trying to understand influence against opportunities created, then I want to use my W-shaped model because my W-shaped model factors in the very first interaction, it factors in when the lead is created, and it factors in when the opportunity is created, and it factors in everything that happens in between those points. So all of the engagement records that take place all the way up until the creation of the opportunity are factored into the W-shaped model. So if I'm trying to create a report or answer questions with reports that are designed to answer how are opportunities influenced, how is the creation of opportunities influenced by marketing, then I want to use my W-shaped model. If I'm trying to answer questions about how wins and deals are influenced, then I need the whole thing. I'm either going to use the full path model or the linear model or whichever model gives me the entire journey, because I want to include stuff that happens between when the opportunity is created and when the opportunity is closed. So you don't pick a model that you standardize on for your organization. Instead, you use the models to answer different questions based on different ways that you want to manipulate the data and different ways that you want to look at different parts of the buyer's journey. So don't think about this as we're going to use W-shaped model. Think of this as, I can use W-shaped, I can use U-shaped, I can use linear. I can put them side by side if I want to see what the differences are. They're tools in your toolkit. You don't have just one screwdriver. You have, a Phillips head, a flathead, you have an Allen wrench, you have multiple different types of screwdrivers and tools that accomplish similar things, but they fit different needs. So that's how you use the attribution models. All right. That's it for today. Thanks for joining. Hopefully this is helpful. Helps you understand how attribution models work and how to use them interchangeably and how not to use them, as in not standardizing on just one. All right. Thanks, everybody.